Yo guys, Coach Theo here on Common Sense. To be free, I gotta be me. To be free, I've got to be this guy. Yo guys, Theo on Common Sense. And if I'm not, I'm just a slave to the Matrix, neither serving myself or anyone else the best I could. It sounds simple enough, right? Because you always are you, right? Who else would you be? But are you being you, though? Are you being who you authentically are, or are you being who you think you're supposed to be? Doing what you think is expected of you, going for the things you think you should want in life, doing what you think you have to do. The only thing you have to do is being you, okay? We're born into this world pure, not as a blank slate, but there is a core to who we are. But then we pick up all this programming from the external world that makes us fall. Fall away from God, I would say, but if you're uncomfortable with that term, let's just say fall away from your true self. Okay, so it can be childhood trauma, tough things happening to you growing up that makes you think you have to be a certain way, you have to act a certain way to be deserving of love, or else you're unworthy. For instance, it can be other trauma, but it mustn't be just trauma, like obvious negative, tough experiences like that. It's just things going on around you that influences you in a certain way, programs you, like society's norms. If they tell you that to be successful, you go to school, you study, and you get a job, you get an apartment, and you have Netflix, and you watch watch Netflix. You eat taco on Fridays, and you go on vacation a few weeks per year. That's how to be successful. Now you want to be successful, so you think this is what you want to do, right? But of course, it can be popular culture too, telling you should be a certain way to fit in and be cool, be a cool guy or girl, yeah, to be alpha. Clearly, what I'm picking up on here from all the TV shows and everything I see is that sex, having lots of sex with lots of girls is important. That's status. Yeah, that makes other girls like me and guys think I'm cool. So that's, yeah, and I want to be cool and fit in, so I want to do that. Thing is, whether it's the party path or the career path that you go down that wasn't the path for you, you'll find out sooner or later. You wake up to this fact, and then you'll be like, shit, I was never supposed to do these things. This is not who I truly am. And then the work starts for real. This is what happened to me when almost 6 years ago now. It's crazy how time flies. When I started having those panic attacks. Before that, I was not feeling well, and it was as if who I truly was, there was too much friction between that and who I was currently being. And so that's the reason I take the example here with the girls, is that was a big one for me, thinking, yeah, to be worth something, to be status, for me to mean something, I have to sleep with lots of girls. Other girls will think I'm cool and Chad and alpha, and other guys too, they will think I'm cool and, fit in. And I on weekends, I always have to have plans, go out, party, or a house party, something like that, because, that's what you do. If you're cool, everyone that is something, that's what they do. I picked up on that, and I should post on social media, show how good of a time I have, because I can tell all the successful people, the people I look up to, they're always having a good time. So it's important that I show that I have a good time in a similar way. It doesn't really matter if I'm not enjoying myself whatsoever here, as long as I can take a picture and make people believe that. How I am feeling and doing, it's not as important as people thinking I'm feeling and doing really well. So the thing for me, one thing I can recall before the first panic attack that really it was eating away at me was this, that I knew on some level that this with sleeping with girls, what I really want is like a loving relationship. Have a special person that I take care of and love and do all the things with, and then do the same with me, and then potentially further down the line have a family together as an extension of that. At the same time, I feel this need. I should, I need to sleep with girls because of all these reasons I said. And I'm also judging girls because I have this view that I believe in this traditional thing, and I think girls are too loose these days. They should be this, and this. But this doesn't work. It doesn't make sense at all because, first of all, I have this other want I want to sleep with girls. So it takes two to tango. The girls are required to act in this way that I say I don't want them to. The other thing is I'm judging the girls for something that I'm doing myself. And so this was not the only thing at all that led to this breakdown for me in my life. But it's one thing I can recall that was like starting to be like, I'm a hypocrite, something is wrong, what's going on, So going through all this with the panic attacks, I had to do things very differently. I was forced to. I realized, I didn't know it then, but I had been a people pleaser, which is tough to realize many times because, on the one hand, but I can be cocky, I can be disagreeable, I kind of like to argue with people about certain things, but I feel that I should say yes to things, and there can be a mix. There can be a mix. I maybe want to, I like to be being there for people and help out, but maybe there's a part of me that thinks I have to, I'm supposed to, or else they will leave me, or something like that, So during this time, I had to say no to a lot more things than I had before. Things like, oh, come out drinking with us. And I feel like I have to say yes because otherwise I'm boring and this is what I'm supposed to do. But I can't. I gotta say no, And so I learned two things. One thing is that it wasn't true. When I actually did what was right for me, many times it didn't have the consequences I thought it would. And I also found out that many times that was supposed to happen because clearly, if I keep doing things that aren't really right for me, I break down like this, and then I can't be there for people the way I wanted to in the first place. Okay? So I come out on the other side of these panic attacks, and lots of things have changed about me in the process. I notice, for instance, that I don't really care about sleeping with girls anymore because whatever validation and status I was looking for from that, I was getting from within. So it happened a little bit like out of habit almost because I've not fully realized everything yet, but I did have that feel like that's something I have to, I'm supposed to do that, And so at first when you awaken, awakening, it's a gradual thing. There's always, I'm still awakening. I'm still learning about myself. But what I mean, the initial awakening, that's like even realizing that that's a thing, that you were wrong about certain, there's some things you've been doing wrong, you have to change things. When you start going on that journey, you just keep waking up more and more. But so the first things often is to not to add in the things that were really you, that you're supposed to do, but to remove all the other crap you filled you and your life with. So I lived a very simple life here at the start. I finished studying, which the studies wasn't really me when I started, but finishing what I started when I was so close, that was me. Completion, life path 9. Those who know. But yeah, so I'm studying a little bit. I'm starting to get into fitness and health. I see some friends not doing much more, but man, it was the best I've ever felt. Because while I wasn't quite where I wanted to be in life with everything yet, I was me now, though. It felt so good to not feel like everything is what I'm supposed to do. Actually, just being me. And this is what I pick up on with many clients that start working with me. They have had this first awakening. I mean, we have some people that have very pure fitness goals and that, and then it becomes a bit more technical on that side. But many people that find my content and want to start a coaching from that, they have started realizing something that, something is off with me. I'm like, it's time. It's time to turn a new leaf, And then, of course, for me, it turned out that fitness and health is something that's really a passion, something I'm supposed to be into a lot. But I just think that everyone's authentic self wants to take good care of themselves and be the best version of themselves. And I'm just convinced that that's quite the fit version for everyone, right? But also, when people I connect with in life, they all seem to have had some realization, waking up like that. But so the thing about all of this is not to say that you should just go out and do whatever the fuck you want, because it doesn't work neither practically or morally. You have certain responsibilities. There are things you have to do, but it's like apart from that, or how you do that, that's got to be you. Okay, so for instance, you're going to have a job, right? Make a living, provide for yourself and a family, for instance. But well, you can pick a job that's the right one for you, right? Something you really love and are passionate about. Or you can pick something that isn't necessarily you, the like job, the occupation in and of itself, but you get to do it in a way when you feel like you know, you get to have your approach with it. You're surrounded by the kind of people you want, you know. You work times, they are just examples I come up with right now, right? That's the finding the balance between the actual haves in this life and just being you, okay? So there's also other like relationships. We can't just do whatever we want when we're involved with another person, because that person is not you. They are different to you. So what's right for you is not always right for them. And then there's this big, if you're someone like myself that had an abandonment wound, that had a people pleasing tendencies, you will think you have to sacrifice way more than you should. You know, it's one thing to adjust for other people, try to meet halfway and compromise, getting to meet their needs, what they want and need from you, in a way that you can do and feel like yourself, you know. But you're not supposed to feel like, oh, I don't really want this, but okay, you know, I guess I have to go along with this, but okay. It's a tough balance. You can't be too rigid, just think that, nah, it's my highway or the highway all the time. But you can't just be pleasing people either, okay? And so this is something I also have had to learn during all these years. I was a people pleaser. I didn't realize how much other people realized, you know, that they can make me do stuff if they like seem like, oh, they're sad or upset with me or something if I don't, you know. And yeah, that's something I really learned. And you see, it's difficult because a lot of people, you would want to have them in your life, but you just can't, because you can't be yourself with them. You have to abandon yourself to be with them. And if you don't abandon them, you're abandoning yourself. And you're going to find out when you go on this path, some people will have to fall away. It doesn't always have to be like a hard fight, abrupt end like that, but it can just turn out that now this just doesn't work. You'll also find out that some relationships can transform. If you're starting to feel like this is something I can't go on with, you know, if you are authentically you, work on it, you adjust your behavior or even talk to the person, you know, maybe you can find a new balance between each other. Some relationships don't have to go away completely, they can just change in levels. And some people, after an initial break, when you started going your way, you know, they might come around. They might go on their own path of awakening, realizing things, or they just think and process things and come back to you. And again, you do things differently. And so this is something I've had to realize a lot, because I'm a person that tends to take too much responsibility, you know. I tend to go on it sounds like a humble brag almost, but it isn't really, you know. It's ego. I'm a person that tends to think when things go wrong and I'm involved, I always think, what's my part? What can I change? What could I have done differently? Da, 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 da. A good trait in and of itself, but it's not if you think it's all up to you all the time. It isn't, you know, because if you think it's all up to you, that's when you're going to start doing things that aren't really you, because you think you have to do them, but all you have to do is your best being you. But then know your limits. If I go beyond this, it's not me adjusting or changing, it's me abandoning who I am, and it's not going to work out well for anyone anyway. Do you know that in relationships, by the way, truly, the ones that are meant for you, like whether it's romantic or friendship relationships, by the way, they like you for you. If it's the kind of relationship you want, they like you for the authentic you. So they will in fact appreciate when you stand up for yourself. Put your foot down if you have to, because they don't want a fake version of you just going along like that. They want you authentically. Okay? So if I am to give some examples here, this is just a theme in my life right now. But if a friend that we've known each other for a really, really, really long time, and it's been like different periods of doing things differently. But the thing was, I felt like he was always pushing me towards what he wanted to do, and he is always putting it as if no, I'm. It's not just because I want it, you know. I'm trying to make a deal here. I'm like showing something I want, and like if I give you this, and this, can we do that then? But I'm kind of like, but I don't want to be convinced of anything. I don't want to do this thing. You know, I feel like I always just end up going along with something I'm not happy. And I couldn't say no because I thought, I thought I'm supposed to be a person that goes along with it. But what happened instead is that I would like completely avoid him for periods of times because I couldn't speak openly about it. And then I've had to learn through these years to set boundaries and find out, does this work? And a balance in a relationship, it has to like go, there's a little like friction, things like a change like that. But I'm happy to say that with this particular person, we're good friends still. We've found a new balance in our relationship and we can talk more openly about the problems we've had in the past. And that's why that's one of the strongest relationships I have right now. Then there's this girl that I really love. And I can't go into, we'll see what I say here even. I can't be too detailed about it. But it's been quite a special story, very special circumstances. And I really felt like I had to sacrifice myself completely, because you see someone's pain, you understand their problems and that. Since I do that, I mean, I'm evil. I'm a bad person. I should then, if I get it, I should sacrifice myself. But what I've had to learn for a long time is, yes, that my ability to see and understand someone and be willing to adjust, that is authentically me. And that's great. But if I go beyond that and feel like I'm doing things I don't want to all the time, to try to hold on to something because of that, well, I'm betraying myself. And in the end, this girl fell in love with me, not who I think I'm supposed to be in that relationship, So if me being authentically me makes that end, so be it, It can't have been the girl for me if that's the case. And I realized that if I truly love her the way she is, then I won't try to force something either, right? Because that's the thing. I am someone that wants to, with everyone, even if it's going to end. Can we do it in the best way? Can we see eye to eye on something? Can we part ways in a way that we're both happy? That's who I am. So that's what I do in a situation like that. But you can't do something with a certain outcome in mind, because that's you have to be you, and then whatever outcome you get is the right one, no matter what. See, it's not the opposite. There's an outcome you want, and you have to adjust. Yes, with some more practical things in life, but the biggest things, you have to be you, and what's meant for you will come to you. That's just the case. But man, it's hard to find a balance in these situations. Right? Because you have to adjust for other people. You can't just go full on 100% with what would come naturally to you first. But you can't go against it either. You have to find that balance. Finding the balance. That's the quest. Yeah, guys, it's been quite a long video already. So I'm just thinking here. To be free, I gotta be me. Can't hold on to anything that's not meant for me. Cannot force, because then I'm not me anymore. I guess I'm just repeating myself right now, but I do this a lot. I do this in my head too. I do this when I journal. I write and talk things over and over and over to make them extra clear, or to find out what is it, what's really going on here, If you're ready to be authentically you, become the truest and best version of yourself. I mean, version, clearly jacked and stacked, right? Clearly works on themselves holistically, striving to be the best version of yourself. That I think that the best version of everyone is the version that also wants to become a better version. And then, of course, what that means, it's not the exact same for everyone, but certain traits definitely are. And I do the holistic bodybuilding coaching, so if you are interested, you can send me a DM on Instagram or email me. I'll get back to you with my different options for that. Please like and comment. It's one of these philosophical videos. It's a phrase that's been with me this last week or so. To be free, I gotta be me. I just open it up here. Let whatever comes out. So please Give me your input. I very much like to hear it. Please subscribe for more content about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, stoicism, mental health, philosophy, spirituality, mindset. It is a mindset, guys. To be free, I gotta be me. Peace.